Good day, everyone. Happy New Year. It is January 1st, 2021. You are joined by Mr. Lowkey and my good colleague.
Hey guys, it's Chris.
Yeah.
I launched a site called SABitcoinarbitrage.com, and we're here to talk to you about Bitcoin in South Africa today.
Fantastic. So don't worry, you're in good hands. You got two finance people, very interesting people. So we're going to be talking about SA, South Africa, Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency, and arbitrage, how to make a riskless profit by buying and selling two different things at different prices. So arbitrage pretty much. So Chris has been kind enough to give us a look through his website, SABitcoinarbitrage. If you ever want to take a look, awesome little site, and so convincing. Chris also got me trading in Bitcoin, and I was the most skeptic guy about it. So Chris, please could we have a look at your site?
Sure, I'll share the screen now. Okay.
Awesome.
So this is the website, and just across the top, it's got quick start guide, local exchanges, foreign currency brokers, and foreign cryptocurrency exchanges. All of this will be, it's a bit confusing right now. It's a bit of a difficult concept to wrap your head around, but the site helps to just illuminate the topic and make it easy to understand. One of the key things I'd point out is this section called the arbitrage opportunity. And in this section, I just look at foreign currency Bitcoin pairs and compare them to the local South African market. And it shows you the prevailing opportunity or the profit that you can make. So here, if you were to buy euros overseas.
So you first buy foreign currency, then use that foreign currency to buy Bitcoin, then sell that Bitcoin in the South African market.
Exactly. If you look at the Bitcoin price in South Africa, it sells at a premium to foreign like Western countries. And let's say you were to send money to Europe, one of the biggest exchanges there is Kraken. So if you send money to Kraken, bought Bitcoin, and then subsequently sold it here in South Africa, your profits would be around 4.35% currently.
Wow.
And so I could demonstrate this. So I've actually got the Kraken website open.
Oh, wow.
And the current price is 23,900 euros. So you can go onto Kraken right now, and all of these people here in green, they're the ones they're willing to buy, but you need to buy from these people willing to sell. So you could buy it changes very quickly, but you could buy it around the price of 23,915 euros. So let me just change this here, but 23,915 euros is, I've got an extra 3, let me get that out. It's around 429,000 Rand.
I see. Wow, these are some very big, scary amounts. How much money would I need to start an arbitrage trade like this?
So there are a couple of fixed costs involved.
Okay.
That it is a bit of a numbers game. You do need to send, the more capital you send, the more profitable it becomes. So one of the main costs is using the SWIFT network. So the SWIFT network is how banks transfer value between each other across borders. And basically the default charge for using that network is 500 Rand to send a SWIFT message. Then it's the conversion from one currency to another. So you would be converting from South African rands into euros. Most banks or most Forex providers charge a spread. It's usually about 1% of the value of the amount you're sending. They charge as a spread.
And especially when you're doing arbitrage, every percent counts.
Yeah. Every single percent counts, because if your opportunity is, as we saw there, 4.3%, and you have a 1% FX conversion, and the 500 Rand SWIFT charge, if you send 50,000 Rand, 500 Rand is 1%. So there's a 500 Rand, that's 1% for the Swift charge, 1% for the spread for the FX provider. That's already 2% that you've lost. That's half of the profit that you could potentially make that you've lost due to the fees incurred in sending the money. And then there's some additional fees on these foreign exchanges. On Kraken, for example, it's about 0.24%, and on VALR it's 0.2%. So that's another 0.5%. So if you're working with 4% and you've lost 2.5%, you only have 1.5% profit that you've got. But if you up the numbers a bit, it becomes more palatable, and you find and you try to find better FX providers. So the main FX provider I use is called Currency Assist.
Okay.
Charge you a 500 Rand Swift charge,
okay,
and then it's 0.75% spread.
Excellent.
And if you send 250,000 Rand, then the fee is 2,500 Rand to send that money. It's 1% of the transaction.
I see.
It's the 500 Rand Swift charge, and then 250,000 times 0.75 is, I believe that's 2,000 Rand.
Wow. So you're pretty much an importer and exporter, except you're importing Bitcoin into the South African market and selling it.
That is exactly what it is. Yeah. That's any importing, but the reason it's so beautiful is that Bitcoin is uncensorable. You cannot stop it. You cannot stop it reaching its destination. There is no port that it can be held by customs. There are no duties. There's nothing like that. It just, boom, it comes straight into South Africa, and you can turn a trade around within a day. Wow. And like I have been lucky enough to turn around 2 trades in one day when it was a really good opportunity. And I mean, just the concept of that, of sending money abroad, purchasing the stock you want to sell, shipping it back here, and doing that twice within a day is, it's quite an incredible concept.
So now we need to talk about risk, because as we've mentioned before, this time delay of buying Bitcoin and then the price suddenly changing. So buying Bitcoin, then the price suddenly decreases by more than what you're expecting to sell it for. How do you hedge against the risks in this situation?
So there are two risks that I would say where your volatility can get you, and that is on the Rand Euro exchange rate. So if you're purchasing euros, if you purchase euros at a price and then the Rand strengthens, well, then you've paid too much for those euros. So that's a risk. And then the other one is Bitcoin. When you take those euros and you purchase Bitcoin and the Bitcoin price weakens and you're trying to sell it into South Africa, then it's reducing the profitability of your trade. Because, I mean, even though the Rand is a very volatile currency, I don't hedge out that risk. I don't hedge out the ZAR Euro risk. I just try to see where it's a good price and I purchase it. At the moment, I think Rand's been very strong. It's strengthened a lot in the last couple of weeks. So it's quite a good time now. But Bitcoin, how I hedge out the Bitcoin risk is I actually hold some Bitcoin as working capital. And I just keep that Bitcoin on the local exchange when I'm trading. And when I buy Bitcoin internationally, I instantly sell the same amount of Bitcoin locally. And that allows me to lock in the profit of that trade. I still have the same amount of Bitcoin as working capital that I use for my business, but I've also locked in the Rand profit of selling that other Bitcoin locally at a higher price.
Awesome. And I like how you mentioned a very good hedge would be just to always hold some Bitcoin just in case and slow down at any point in the trade, because you can wait out a lot of these fluctuations.
So it is one of those things that you don't want to be. I do like holding Bitcoin. I think cryptocurrencies in general are a very valuable thing, but you don't want to, you want it to be arbitrage where you're staying outside of, you want more rands. So you want to stay in rands most of the time. So I usually try to turn around a trade in a day. And if it's looking bad, I sell out of it. I take a lower profit if I need to. It's one of those things that so in January 2018, I was dabbling in arbitrage trading, and I was doing it with Ethereum, and Ethereum at that time had reached its all-time high of $1,400. And it was only briefly for about a week, it was $1,400.
Wow.
And so I was doing the arbitrage with about 25 grand, and I bought $1,400 was basically 25 grand. So I think I bought one ETH. Wow. And it was only at that high price for a week. And then it dropped precipitously.
Oh, wow.
And then I felt stuck holding this Ethereum and selling it would be accepting a loss. So it's one of those things that, you kind of want to wrap up the trade very quickly. And if it's a losing trade, that it's not working out, sell out, take a small hit and move on to the next trade. There'll always be more opportunities to arbitrage cryptocurrencies into South Africa.
Wow. So many people see Bitcoin as just, a speculative asset. It doesn't have any dividends, no offices, no super CEO, super charismatic CEO. Why do you buy something like Bitcoin, which is so speculative? What do you feel about it and its structure?
So Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general are just an amazing thing. So it's a creation of an incredible thing. If you take a picture of your cat, it has no value on the internet, because as soon as you send it to another person, it's like a copy onto their WhatsApp. You send it to a group, it's a copy on everyone's WhatsApp, and there'll be infinite supply of that cat picture. But the guys who invented cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, they've worked out how to make scarce digital assets, things that you cannot copy around the system, that you cannot duplicate and increase the supply of Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin, over time, its supply is going to taper off at around 21 million Bitcoin. And no government, no individual, no person can ever influence that to increase. It's a legitimately scarce good. And, it's just, that is a very valuable thing in the world in this day and age, is something that is actually scarce and they can't be more creative of. And just every year, every month, every week, every day, more and more people are joining the network, the Bitcoin network. And as the network gets bigger and gets more used, those Bitcoins become more valuable because of the size of the network. It's like when the first phone was invented, it doesn't have any value because you can't call someone. But as soon as you have, I think there's 7 billion mobile devices in the world, they're just so valuable, and you have to have one because everyone's using it, and it's how we interact with each other these days.
Nice. I know a lot of finance people say something is only worth what people are willing to pay for it. So because so many people are willing to pay for Bitcoin, that's where it gets a lot of its worth from, whether Bitcoin or gamer girl bathwater, whatever it may be, as long as there's people on the internet willing to pay for it.
Gamer girl bathwater, oh man.
Amazing stuff.
Value is subjective, hey?
Yeah.
I bet you still got sick of that bathwater, but yeah, it's subjective.
I had to share such an example. So just speaking about a network, we talked about Bitcoin Twitter, which you've been following to try identify some of these crazy trends, and especially the upward trend Bitcoin has been on this year. And you mentioned MicroStrategy playing a part in maybe even causing this upward trend. Please could you tell me a bit more about that?
100%. So There's this very prolific CEO in America, Michael Saylor. I think he's the longest running CEO of a tech company. And I think he's been the CEO of MicroStrategy for about 50 years now. It's actually quite incredible, that guy's story. So what he did is he convinced his entire board to take MicroStrategy's $500 billion treasury and purchase Bitcoin. And then he announced it publicly on Twitter, and he just fired the first shot.
Wow.
And since then, so he bought $500 billion worth of Bitcoin at an average price of around $9,000. And that converts to around 40,000 Bitcoin. And since the price has increased from $9,000 from when he bought till now, it's almost $30,000. It's just like, it's incredible. He's made $1 billion. He's made $1 billion in 6 months from this one investment decision.
Very scary, eh? Because that bubble could burst if, when he then decides to cash in on that trade, it may in fact turn the other way.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Is that, you know, he does hold a lot of power in the space. But I mean, that is a very true point. But if you do watch a lot of his interviews and everything like that, he does come across as a true believer in the space. And I think he's in it for the long term. But he is an investor. He is a capitalist. And I mean, personally, if I made $1 billion in a year, I would sell.
Oh, wow.
I'd call it quits. I would sell. But there's a very strong wind pushing Bitcoin. And that is that a lot of other institutions are interested in getting involved, keeping some of their treasury there, because they realize that it's something apart from governments. It can't be, more of it can't be minted. It can't be affected. It can't be created. So it's true scarcity in a digital world. And that has value. That does have value.
I see. Okay. Now, the next point I really wanted to talk about was VALR versus Luno. Which trading platform do you prefer? What are the risks? Let's talk a little bit about that.
So for local South African exchanges, I actually like both. My heart is with VALR though, because I followed it from its inception. Their CEO his name is Fazar Masani, and he's like a very influential, very impressive person. And he's definitely a trend maker and a shaker in the space in South Africa. When he first launched VALR, they were the first exchange. They had the cheapest exchange, the cheapest exchange fees in the market, which is 0.2% for the taker. So if you see an order you want on the trading book and you take it, you pay 0.2% of the trade value as a fee. Now that was at least, it was 1/5 of the prevailing fees in the South African market at the time. Luno was at 1% at the time. Since then, Luno has been bought out by this company called, I think it's called Digital Currency Group. And they have lowered the fees as well to be on par with VALR. So Luno's fees are 0.1% for the taker or the maker. And VALR's fees are still 0.2% for the taker, and they pay you if you're the maker. They pay you 0.1% if you put an order on the book and it gets taken.
Nice. I like how, sorry to cut you off, how you mentioned that there can sometimes be functionality limits and sometimes execution delays. So it's always good to be on both platforms, because you never know. One may be a bit full, a bit crowded, and the other one may be a bit more quiet. And
you know, the South African market is it's not as deep as people think. You know, you can see it at stages. If there's a large drop in the price, that the liquidity dries up and there's no one to sell your Bitcoin to. So I wouldn't commit to one platform. I would have multiple, and the two best ones are 100% Luno and VALR.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I think that's some pretty awesome information for everyone to sort of go through. I don't think we'll give away all the secrets just yet. So if people want a little bit more, please comment below. And we've got some reference links as well. So if you want to trade cryptocurrency and use some of the referral links below, would highly appreciate it. And maybe just to finish off, can you share a funny story about cryptocurrency trading? Anything funny that has once happened to you while trading
So
crypto?
the strangest trade I've ever done, and I mean it's you could do this now. It's quite cool because Bitcoin sells at a bit of a premium in South Africa. This one of my colleagues that I work with, he said, Chris, there's this lady coming to South Africa and she's coming here to get dental work done, but she doesn't have a South African account. Can you pay her dentist? So I was like, okay.
Okay.
Where's she coming from? So she had to pay pounds into my exchange account, my foreign exchange account. I then bought Bitcoin with that, sold it in South Africa, paid her dentist the fee that was necessary, and I made like $2,000 off of it.
Oh, wow.
Because of the arbitrage opportunity.
Wow.
And I helped someone get dental work done.
Oh, wow. SA dental Bitcoin arbitrage could be.
It was so strange. It was such a strange experience.
Oh, wow. Okay, I've got a pretty funny one. It was the year 2018, and there was a Bitcoin bubble going on. Bitcoin was going for 10,000 US dollars. And I thought to myself, I need to get in on this. There was a lot of hype. It was all over the news. And usually that's not the best time to get into something. Usually you have to wait for the things to go wrong, wait for a recession, then start buying, and then wait for a bubble and start selling. And
when there's blood in the streets.
Yeah. So I thought about buying cryptocurrency, and I thought, wait a minute, Bitcoin is too obvious. And there was rumors of Facebook maybe buying Litecoin. So I said, tell you what, I took whatever money I could find, checked under the couch, anything I could, and I put 100 US dollars into Litecoin. And I thought, you know what, maybe Litecoin, maybe Bitcoin. I thought it was so unlikely that Bitcoin's price will double. I was like, it's already at 10,000, it's probably reached its limit. So I said, I'll buy Litecoin. Maybe that could double or even triple. So I bought it, and the next week, so I bought it at 40 US dollars a coin, and the next week it went down to 33 US dollars. And I was like, no, I lost my precious 100 US dollars. That could have bought me, other things. And I said, what, forget about it. I'll leave it. Who knows? One day it might go back up to 40 and, no problem. Waited, and now today that same Litecoin is worth 130 US dollars. So the price pretty much tripled. And
it's the number 4 cryptocurrency in the markets at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Did it overtake Ripple?
I think it did. And Ripple had it got banned off of certain exchanges. So, I mean, it's completely a guessing game, and I'd never bet my life savings on it. But it seems the general upward trend has been just buy and hold. And if you're just going for short-term profits, that could be kind of risky. I think buy and hold is the game I'm playing. Not that I recommend it. I'm no expert on it. But
I'm also an absolute holder. I'm an absolute holder.
Yeah, I think I'll definitely
do that. But you always need a side hustle, and the arbitrage is
True. If you're patient, and especially VALR has got these nice trading rules where you can set up an alert anytime a cryptocurrency falls below a certain rate, and then you can jump in. So that's been, kind of fun to do. And this April of 2020, when the Bitcoin price hit 5,000 US dollars, and I wasn't ready to make a move. I didn't have a trading platform ready, and I was kicking myself like, next time the Bitcoin price, even if it just sneezes, I'll be right there, with some tissue and hand sanitizer.
That's
and
one
be like,
thing.
Yeah, I'll be ready.
That's one thing I've had to get my mind around is that all of these accounts are free.
Yeah.
So just set it up. Just get it set up right now, and you are ready to pounce into action. The biggest investment is the time in getting it set up.
Yeah.
But you need to have them set up, because an opportunity like that presents itself and you're unable to strike because you haven't set up the necessary accounts. True. You just need to set up the accounts now. Do not delay and set up your accounts.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think on that note, we'll end this video. I want to say a big thank you to Chris. New Year's Day, and we're talking cryptocurrency. And as you said, the most important thing is be ready. Do your research,
Be
watch
ready.
videos like this, go to websites like SABitcoinarbitrage, and like and subscribe to channels just like this one. And exciting things to come.
100%. 100%. Thanks for the interview.
Awesome.